Welcome to our session. Today, we're going to be talking about mastering quality on Airbnb on this webinar with Mariana Vargas, market manager on Airbnb, then Guillermo, connectivity product manager on Avantio, and me, I'm Vania Gomez. I'm OTA optimization specialist.
Hi everyone. Um, Happy to meet you all. I'm Mariana. I'm a market manager in Airbnb Spain and Portugal. So as Vanya mentioned, I'm gonna give you some insights and tips on why quality matters and how to tackle it in the platform. And then Guillermo's gonna talk more about Avantio per se. So if we go to the next slide. Okay, so why does delivering high quality matter? Of course, as any marketplace, Airbnb is a marketplace as any other platform, as any other OTA. So the special thing about Airbnb is that we're 100% organic. This means that we don't have option of paid media on, and we don't promote paid algorithms in the platform. This means that we are 100% based on quality. This is why it is very important to have high and consistent high quality in the platform across your listings. This will boost the search visibility and algorithm and position your listings higher. Of course, it also improves the conversion of your listings. Guests who search across the website and the platform and don't know where to book, they will one of the main drivers of their decision is quality and ratings. So it will of course increase the conversion of booking, and this will lead to higher earnings and more bookings across time. Also, the ADR potential, as any other product in life, guests or clients are willing to pay more if the quality is high. So this is, of course, an important thing to consider, because it is easier to set higher rates or to have a strong, consistent ADR across time if you have high quality. And of course, the reputation of your brand. Having a high quality listings will also result in having higher rating as a host, and a higher status, and a better brand in terms of reputation if you have quality in your listings. So if we go to the next one, please. Okay, so we believe that quality is not only about the listing, but is more about the whole booking experience from the guest. So um, it starts really with the settings of your account. It starts with how you set your listings in terms of description, in terms of pictures, in terms of rates, promotions, etc. And it also goes across then the experience of the guest in terms of the quality delivered during the trip, the communication, the check-in, the booking experience in general, and then also after the booking. How do you manage the post communication after the booking? We will see in a couple of slides, we will see the levers or the different tags of quality, and based on what the guest is going to rate you. If we go to the next slide, please. So here, as I was saying, this is just a reminder of how guests interact with Airbnb, and yourselves, of course, as hosts, when it comes to quality. So there are 5 actually different types of ratings. There's the overall rating, there's the check-in, the cleanliness, the accuracy, and the communication. So all of them are extremely important. You can have 5 stars in check-in, 5 stars in communication, 5 stars in accuracy, but then the apartment was a little, or the listing was a little dirty, so they rate you 1 star, for example, in cleanliness, and 1 star in overall, because they give a lot of attention to cleanliness. So they're all equally important, and you have to aim for a high rating in each of them, because in the end it's an overall review that the guest will leave. um Also, just 1 second, in the previous slide, below each tag of review, you can see keywords that the guest will see when rating. So it's important also to know and to be familiar with these keywords that the guest will be basing the reviews on. And next one, please. This is how is my listing performing? This is just different buckets that we categorize the listings on. This is not 100% public to host, but sometimes you will see messages in the platform from in the page of each listing saying if you are in the top 10, in the bottom 10, or in the middle. This is not yet a display that we have 100% all the time in each listing, but this just gives you an idea of where you are across similar listings in the platform. So it's important also to know if your listing is performing well or not. And this is also comparing to similar listings in terms of location, in terms of type category, and rate. So yes, it is important to know if you're, for example, you have a listing flagged in the bottom 10. It's important to know that among similar listings, you're performing in the bottom 10. So just a little data point here. Of course, it is important. This is one of the effects from the first slide that I showed of having having high quality will result in better conversion and more bookings. So this is just a data point showing that each 5-star review may lead to an average of 3% growth in GBV, which is gross booking value, over the following year, and a 4.4 increase in bookings over the following year as well. In the next slide, okay, this is just to mention guests care so much about reviews, and for example, listings with more than 4.8 stars receive higher earnings than those below this number. We will see in a couple more slides this data point that is important to mention. For example, also in new listings, guests care a lot about reviews, guests care a lot about ratings. So for a new listing, it is already hard enough to get a booking on a new listing. So if you have good pictures, a good description, and you get a first booking, and this booking results in a 5-star review, this will develop in more visibility, and thus more conversion and more bookings and more GBV across time. Next slide, please. This is what I was mentioned about this data point, that any listing above with a rating above 4.8, they can see approximately 2 to 6% more earnings than similar listings with below 4.8, worth 4.8 or below. And also this data point in the right that says almost 70% of listings with an average, so from their whole ratings, at least 80% of these ratings have a 5-star. They receive they represent 70% of total bookings in Airbnb. So this shows that really guests tend to book more listings with high quality and 5-star ratings rather than listings with less than these rates. Next slide. So this is just to show from every insight in Airbnb about quality, there's an opportunity, and how can we convert these insights in opportunity. So it is all about recognizing these opportunities and learning how to convert them in strategy. So for example, just knowing that high quality can drive visibility and lead of course to higher earnings. There's a clear opportunity that would be, for example, investing in better cleaning services, or partnering with any service company that can boost the quality of your listing. It is about just knowing what insights are valuable and how to convert them in opportunities, and how to really invest to see a return when we talk about quality. Next slide, please. So also talking about quality, of course, we're going to talk about the common errors that we see across the platform. The most common issues, or the most reported issues in Airbnb the last year, were these 5. For example, the listing was dirty or dusty. It contains stains. Mostly the stains, we see them in the kitchen or bathroom. Then a dirty bathroom, something needs maintenance, and there's a noticeable smell. So this is mostly about cleanliness, and we believe that since these are the top 5 issues reported more on Airbnb and on the last year, we believe that these are really easy to tackle, to say it like this, because these are about cleanliness. So securing a good cleaning company, or securing that the listing is ready and clean for the next guest is key to reducing issues. And in the next slide, we will see which are the most reported broken or missing amenities. So in the next slide, we can see them, which are these ones. So you can take a screenshot of this slide. It's okay. These are the most the top 10 amenities reported broken or missing. This is really important. Of course, not every listing has a jacuzzi, not every listing has a lift or an elevator, for example, but some of them are important to secure that they're working well. For example, the air conditioning, the Wi-Fi. These are important things that each host needs to secure are working well before a guest is entering the listing. Moving to the next slide. So when talking about quality, of course, we're gonna talk about guest favorite status or guest favorite badge on Airbnb. Nowadays, we're promoting or merchandising even more the guest favorite status than the superhost status on the platform, and this is because this is about listing level. So this is about a property. You can be a superhost but have 0 listings on guest favorite, or you can have a guest favorite listing and not be a superhost. There, most of the times, of course, they're related, but not all of the times. And when talking about quality, it's important to really become conscious about listing level. So how does the guest favorite works? There are a couple of criteria. There are some criteria that you need to follow to obtain this. Um, Most importantly, the overall rating. It has to be um, more than 4.9 stars in the last reviews, a minimum of 5 reviews in the past years, low host cancellation rates, low reported, low rate, low percentage, sorry, of reported incident in the past bookings. And yeah, it's basically we have, in just so you know, in Airbnb we have 2 million listings um with the guest favorite badge. We don't want to right now, because of the total amount of listings that we have in the platform. We just have 2 million listings worldwide with this status. So maybe you can have a listing that is really high in quality but is not high enough to be among those 2 million. So it's really, really, really important to just monitor how far are you from the guest favorite status, and how does it work in order to get there. You will see in the image on the left how it looks. You will have a guest favorite badge on the left, and it will be, of course, highlighted in the search ranking, and also in the filter. There's also a filter specifically for guest favorite. Next slide, please. So it is really important to know also the impact that this has in overall bookings. The guest favorite listings account for 40% of all views in Airbnb. This was data from the second half of 2024, but we have seen it consistently this year, and this is because of what I mentioned of the every guest favorite listing um, has a higher ranking, of course, in the platform, and also there's an option of filtering only by guest favorite, and many guests go directly to this filter. So this, of course, results in more views than any other listing. And last but not least, talking about the superhost status, as I mentioned, this is a separate, not completely different, but a separate category than guest favorite. As I mentioned, having all of your listings in guest favorite will probably get you a superhost status. Or maybe you have a superhost status, but just a few listings on guest favorites. So how does the superhost status work? This is, of course, a badge or a category at host level, not at listing level. You have to have at least a 4.8 rating, overall rating as a host, less than 1% cancellation rate as a host, and having a high, fast or high communication, which is having a 90% response rate or higher, because we guests and Airbnb, of course, appreciates a lot hosts that respond within the next hours. And it is important to know that there's tools in regards to this. There's automatic messages that you can configure in order to be fast with responsiveness and communication. And the last slide just shows what are the benefits of the Superhost status. For example, you will have these on the right. You will see the Superhost badge on your profile, so guests can see whenever they enter your profile that you're actually a Superhost, so they will trust more that your listings are high quality. You will have, for example, you will receive a coupon if you maintain this status across the year. You will get a coupon of $100 to spend in Airbnb. You'll have priority support. You will have a dedicated customer service team and early access to new features that will launch in the platform. So it is really important to try to aim for the Superhost status and maintain it across time. So this is all for the Airbnb part. Of course, be aware that we have different tools that can help you also in the platform. But now, most importantly, Guillermo will talk about the tools in Avantio. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Mariana. Okay. I will try to show you directly. Let me share my screen. Because I will try to show you the tool that we have developed in Avantio to keep a good performance from the account level and the recommendation level, regarding with all the points that Mariana has mentioned. So let me share my screen. So basically, I would like to show you this tool, this quality dashboard tool, where we will see where to find it, what can we see here, and we will go deep with an example to understand more or less how it works. So basically, the tool can be found in this channel page under the quality dashboard page. Okay. The first view that we have here is basically a general view where we can swap between the current status of the general status. We will go in detail in a minute. The current status is something more general, with general view, we can say, and the evolution part is more related with the evolution of the different parameters or the different review tags along the time. So it will be used in different situations. Okay, so let's go in deep with an example. For example, thank you very much, by the way, but to Valley Exception. Not sure if they are here today, but they have let us to show the account in this case. So basically, here we see that this account has this score here, where we can see also that we have a 84% with 5 star score. So 85% of the reviews are 5 points. And imagine that we want to see how can we improve this account, or how can we obtain a better results or better performance in this account. Here you see different parameters that we have, that those that Mariana has mentioned before. And we can see here that, for example, location is something that probably we need to improve, right? Here in the bottom, we have some alerts that we have to take into account, but in some case, we have accommodation status or this kind of alerts that we can review with Airbnb customer support, just to have in mind that it's something that we need to take care. But if we want to go in detail, for example, for location, and see, okay, what's happening in location in this account, let's see in detail what's happening here. For example, we have, as Mariana have mentioned before, the different reviews that we have received from cleanliness. We see here that, for example, we have 25 negative reviews, here 8, 25, but in location, we can see that we have 46. Okay, so this is a point when we can enter to try to improve our performance in this account. And also we see here, for example, that we have inconvenient location and noisy. Okay, so what can we do right now? We can take a look in detail in a different period to check when we have received those reviews. So to do that, basically we go to the evolution page, and we see here different dashboard. Okay, in this first dashboard, we can see along the time the reviews that we have received for each of those parameters. For example, we have here cleanness 3 cleanness here, location here 3 in this moment. So it gives us an idea what's happening, when it's happening, and where we are receiving the bad or good reviews as well, if we want, for example, use for our marketing purposes or whatever. Also, for of course, we can change the period of time that we want to check. That, for example, coming back to the location example, we see here that we have several points with the red one. We can see the red one, that is location. We have several points where we have location problem. So in the bottom side, we can see a general view, for example, the number of review tags per review tag. In this case, for example, we are looking at location. Okay. So in this location, we can see that mostly are good reviews, but we have several reviews negative here. We can evaluate if we want to do more precisely where and when. For example, if we go through location here and we go through negative here to go in detail what's happening with this specific tag. For example, we see here that in this account, because we are in the account level, we will go later to the accommodation level. We see this, that in this account, in the we have inconvenient location, noisy, and not much to do as bad review here. So perhaps it gives us some ideas of what to do to improve this account. So imagine that now we have more or less clear which is the parts, which are the parts that we want to improve here, but we want to go more in detail for each accommodation. For example, I want to go in detail about in some accommodation how I can improve these tags. For example, let's see here in the top side we have a filter when we can choose different accommodations. Even we can filter by country or by town as well, just in case that we need to take a look to the whole town or the whole country where we have some accommodations. So, for example, let's say that we are going to take a look at this Annabelle one. Save, and we have here a specific information related with this accommodation. Now we have jumped from the account level to the accommodation level. So we are now looking directly to this accommodation. And we can see here that in July, August, June, we are receiving some location reviews that are not so good here. And perhaps we can take some action to improve that. And here, as before, we can see how many and when, positive and negative, and how many related with location and when related with some specific review tags. Okay, so why this is useful? How can it help us? For example, imagine that instead of this location, or we are talking about cleanliness, as Mariana said before, and we detect that this accommodation have some problem with cleanliness. It is a tool that helps us to take some action. For example, we can work with another partner in this town or whatever we want, take some action and see which is the impact of those actions in this report. Because if we take an action here and this bad review disappear in the future, it's giving us some insight about the action that we have taken is working well. So it's in the same time the score that we are obtaining improve as well. So at the end of the day, we have achieved our objective, that is basically improve the performance of our accommodation with this score that we have defined here. If you take a look to this information that we have here, as Mariana has mentioned before, we have different batches that we can have in our accommodation or at the account level as well. That basically is this guest recommendation or get top accommodation as well. And also we have included the link that lead you to the Airbnb webpage, just in case that you don't remember how to obtain that, or you need extra information about or details about this batch. And also, as Mariana mentioned before, if we remove this filter to come back to the account level, we can see, for example, this. Give a second to the system. Okay. Here we can see also that in this case, this account is Superhost because we have this batch that's the same that we have in Airbnb. So basically, this gives us an overview to take actions and also to improve the performance of the different accommodation and also to the account level. For example, as I mentioned before, if we want to go to filter by city, for example, let's say this Canggu. We can see Canggu. Okay. And now we apply the filter. We are obtaining all the Canggu cities, all the Canggu accommodation. So if we select all here and save, basically what we are looking at here, we see that we have here the filter applied, and we are looking at the Canggu performance in this case. We are looking at what the guest reviews are obtaining, or which kind of reviews we are obtaining in Canggu. The same for the other parameters that we have here. So basically, this is a tool that, as Mariana has mentioned, can help us to improve this performance, and at the end of the day, obtain the score that we are looking at. That is basically superior to 4.8. Basically that's all.
Thank you so much, Guillermo. And also thank you, Mariana, for your information. And now, moving on, we're going to be talking about on how to improve your quality score. With this, first, with the information that Guillermo has told us before with the quality dashboard, here are some strategies that he already mentioned them of how to use it strategically to improve your quality score on Airbnb. First of all, it's really important to go through past reviews. I mean, you all have to learn from the past, all of us, from the positive and the negatives. I mean, the negative, this is to manage also the expectations of the guest. I mean, if you have read the tags that they have put into your properties on the past, you can work with them to set the expectations by communicating every possible negative tag that maybe it's even the property didn't have any object that they were needed. You have to let that know, for example, on the accommodation listing. And also the positive tags, you have to take them as value, as offering the value also in your listings. For example, if you know that this is really powerful on your property, show it to everyone. Show that that's what you are offering, but always managing the expectations in the right way. Then be an active listener. You have to, while this is more regarding the present, right? Like with the quality dashboard, you can see what they are saying right now and be ready to take action at the same moment, okay, and prevent any revenue loss. And then really important to understand seasonal patterns for the future too. I mean, to be ready for the seasons. So every season, either it fits a peak season for your property, which here, what does a guest value more in peak season? Speed, comfort, reliability. I mean, with this, it's like fast check-ins, for example, spotless spaces, for example, which we're gonna be going into more detail later on. But then, when you're not in your peak months, when it's more quieter months, what they value more, the people that are booking for these months, for example, they need to perceive more value, to know more about local experiences, for example. All of this, also in the seasonal patterns, you have to see those months in the evolution on the dashboard, on the quality dashboard. What is your pain point, for example, and work towards it, and be ready for the next season. And now moving on the quality dashboard, we have here gathered the key points that Airbnb has has said that the most, let's say, the guests that the property managers that perform best, what they are doing, right? What are the ground rules that they call them ground rules for hosts in order to have this good quality? First of all, booking commitment. I mean, this one is to offer what you are committing to. I mean, on your listing, on your on the booking itself, like don't cancel it later if or even for example days before the check-in, don't cancel it, or honor what you are showing to be the experience that they are gonna get. The listing cleanliness, of course. At the end of the day, this part of reviews, it's to put yourselves in the shoes of the guest, right? I mean, listing cleanliness to be a healthy and clean space to offer that. Timely communication. Be always there for the guest in order to have a good then communication review, and also to prevent the guest to leave to another booking, to another property, let's say. Because if they are asking you anything or they are curious about anything, you have to respond to them on time. Either, if not, they might leave to another booking, for example. So we have to be ready for that. And the listing accuracy. The listing accuracy is the same a bit of on the commitment, like be accurate, offer what you are showing. This we can relate this point, this rule, this one rule, to the categories, to the review categories of course, accuracy, offer transparency and consistency on your listing, update your photos, verify your amenities, list the exact details that you are offering. And also, we can relate this to the location review. Well, not the location review, sorry, but this can be also related to what Guillermo was saying about the location. We have also to give clarity and local experiences. Describe distances. Describe what is around your property in order to have this accuracy point more fulfilled. And the value category of the review score is also addressed on the accuracy. Is your property fair, like in price in this case? Is your experience also fair? It's valuable. It's accurate to what they were expecting. So those are the ground rules. And then also, how can we build a good review score from scratch, from the first time that a guest sees our property to the checkout time with Avantio, which are the tools that we have in our software that can help you build this good strategy. For example, first of all, we have the operations in the VRMS. We have the module of operations, which here you can automate and you can prepare the task for cleaning, for example, or extra services. In this case, we are going to be focusing on the cleaning task because it is one of the review categories that we are aiming for to have a good quality on it and good tags regarding that. So what are some key points that we need to fulfill here? Of course, in this section of the VRMS, you can, in this task, when you are configuring the task, you can add descriptions, you can add photos in order to the person who is doing it has more accurate details of what is needed, right? So what is actually needed to have this 5-star this 5-star experience for the guest? Exhaustive cleaning. Make sure all your rooms, surfaces, hidden areas are clean, are ready to receive the guest. The bathroom care, the clutter, keep spaces organized. Use checklists in order to make sure that everything is fulfilled, is done. Remove unnecessary items that is gonna be are not gonna be needed. The kitchen hygiene, pet and herb management too. Provide pet-friendly items, regularly clean surfaces. Control the smells also. Ventilate the rooms, use air purifiers, for example. These are just some tips that we can be addressing on this matter in order to get that 5-star cleaning review score achieved. Moving on, we also have we could say it's a phase 2 because first we need to clean the space in order to welcome the guest, and then it's the check-in time. They are arriving not even arriving, they are booking the experience, the property. In Avantio, you can detail the check-in method and a check-in message. For example, check-in method, you can put that it's self-check-in with smart locks, with keypad, or even the host which greets you. And then you can add a description in order to put some instructions for the check-in, some detailed information that it's not going to be visible on the listing itself. So you need to tell the guest in order to have this check-in category, review category, to our 5 stars. Okay, that's what we are aiming in all of these parts. So some tips for this check-in. Also, I have to say that this part of the configuration is available for those who have an Airbnb complete integration with Avantio. For those with a partial one, you will have to configure it on the extranet of Airbnb. So to make the check-in the best experience, for example, makes access easy, implement a self-check-in, for example, clear communication with all the details, visual instructions, use some photos of anything that is needed to make the check-in, be responsive, be always communicating to the guest everything and available for the guest, and optimize locks and security. Then we go to the communication, even if it's before the check-in or during the check-in and the time the guest is gonna be there. You have the unified inbox in Avantio, which is on the upper side. Here you can see it in the pictures in the upper right side of the software, and on this part of our software, you can communicate via different channels at any time. You can also use Avantio Intelligence in order to generate content or translations. And also we have the Harmony solutions, which are this part of the software, which you can find them also in the VRMS. It's right there, Harmony, on the left side, on the menu bar, it's Harmony and the solutions. This is in order to create the automated communications, like for example, offering additional services or sending the instructions to the guest. There are templates in order to do this, to get more reviews, which we encourage, to thank or reward guests who have left a review, for example, or you can create your own solution. This communication review category, how can we make the most out of it? For example, providing clear guidance, offer a house manual or a guidebook, or even maybe a guidebook of what to do in the area, rules, local tips, all of this. Be proactive and helpful and respond quickly. We encourage, as Mariana said, to respond in time, and 90% to have a response rate of 90%. Okay. And then finally, it comes to the checkout time of the guest. They're gonna leave, so this is also important. In here, you can configure it to on the portal sections of the Channel Pro, which was the same as the check-in solutions. Again, only for the complete integration. You can add checkout tasks, instructions, or additional requests. And finally, the reviews. So we wanted to, this is actually all of the previous slides were to build a good review, to build the best experience for the guest, to give us a good review. Here you have the sections on the VRMS, on the menu bar. On bookings, you have the reviews, and here you can manage them. when you have the option of using Avanto Intelligence, but just also for you to know, it's only available for the reply on the guest review. It's not available when you're gonna review the guest. Okay. You can either respond to the review of the stay, and also give a guest review that I mentioned before. And also, based on analytics, based on data that we have analyzed, you need 10 positive reviews to offset 1 negative review in Airbnb. Okay, so that's really important. And also, we encourage to leave a review of the guest first. So this will make them leave a review on their stay. So there's more chance to have these positive reviews. And the reviews, the reviews can be made within 14 days of the checkout. Also, just for you to know. And we have implemented the automatic reviews. What is this? You can now evaluate the guest, sending an automatic review, which will be done by default. You have to configure how many days after the checkout. All right. You can also leave a manual review if you do it before the automatic review is automatically, of course, done. Okay. This includes the public or private feedback review, and also the ratings, the star ratings, which depending on the star that you are putting, it shows automatic tags that you can choose to. Okay. And that's everything on the Avantio side, but also a really important thing that can be part of your strategy is the Avantio Marketplace, which is on the upper side of the software on the right, where you can see it right now on the slide. We offer services, extra additional services, in order to improve your services. Why? Because, for example, in the cleanliness or in the check-in, if you are failing, if you see on the quality dashboard that the check-in experience is not quite positive, and you don't have the resources in order to make it improve, make it better, you can go to the marketplace and see the offers, that the services that we have integrated in Avantio to get the experience that the guests deserve. All right. So, for example, with check-in or check-in scan, for guest communication, operations and maintenance, or check-in, you can go check it out and explore the marketplace. And just to end the webinar, to sum up a bit everything that we've been talking about, because we're running out of time right now. So some key takeaways. First of all, focus on quality to boost performance. This is everything that Mariana has said. Why is it really important to have good quality? Why? First, for the guests, to offer the best experience for them, and also for us to boost our visibility in Airbnb, get more reviews, and get all the benefits that she was telling us. Take action through performance insights. Guillermo was explaining us the quality dashboard, how we have a tool in our hands, easy to use, and we encourage you also to, as I said, explore the marketplace, okay, but also explore the quality dashboard and explore every tool that we have in Avantio. But the quality dashboard is something that you have to play with it, see how you can work better with it, and see strategically how to use it. And turn problems into opportunities. Of course, we have to analyze the negative reviews, and take action to make them be our opportunities in our properties. And that's everything for the session. Thank you for being here, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.